If you are struggling to make sales of your product or service online, it's most likely because you are making one or more of these three mistakes. My name is Paul Macetta, and I help 7- and 8-figure online business owners grow and scale their businesses. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 common mistakes that some of even the most savviest marketers and business owners make when they are trying to engineer marketing campaigns that get them new clients, customers, and sales. So the very first mistake is that you are lacking clarity in your messaging. Specifically, you don't have something called a primary promise. A primary promise is the single transformational result or outcome, or as I like to say, because this is really what people really buy and what they're really investing in, is a new future reality that you are promising your prospects if they purchase your product or service. So where does that lack of clarity come in? So the first place that it comes in is oftentimes people are unsure or unclear about who they are speaking to. So first of all, they don't identify an avatar or an ideal client, customer, or prospect, or they're trying to speak to too many people. And here's the reality. In marketing, when you try to be everything to everyone, you wind up being nothing to no one. So it's always better to niche down and speak to a specific type of prospect rather than trying to speak to everyone. So that's the first thing, is they lack clarity in who they are speaking to, and they lack clarity in terms of what they are promising. Now, the lack of clarity in terms of what they're promising, there's a lot of different ways that people violate this rule. The first way is that they make vague, ambiguous promises. So they might make a promise like, I'll help you skyrocket your income. I'll help you shed that extra weight that you have. Well, what does that mean? Skyrocket my income. What exactly does that mean? If I'm making $1,000 a month and you teach me how to make $5,000 a month, well then great, you've skyrocketed my income. But if I'm making $50,000 a month and you show me how to make $5,000 a month, you haven't skyrocketed my income. And so you need to be crystal clear in the actual promise that you make. Your promise to your prospects should be specific, concrete, measurable, and if applicable, it should be timely. So a better promise would be, I'll show you how to generate $10,000 in online sales in the next 30 days working just 2 hours a day. Now, do you see how much clearer and more concrete and more timely that promise is? The rule that I have is when I come up with a primary promise, I'm always thinking, can my prospect visualize this in their mind exactly the way I want them to? Another question that I'll ask myself is, if I made this promise to a room full of 30 people, would every single person in that room know exactly what I said, and would they visualize it exactly the way I want them to visualize it? See, you got to understand something. The world in and of itself is very, very subjective. Even objective reality is very subjective, meaning people see the world in different ways. Now, reality might be reality, but the truth is we all filter reality through our lenses, and so we wind up seeing things drastically different than one another. And so if you're not crystal clear in your marketing message, you always take the chance that your prospect is going to construct an image in their mind of what they think you're promising them, but it's not exactly what you're promising them. Or even worse, if you're not crystal clear in what you're saying, then they have a hard time actually visualizing what you're promising them. They get confused and they disappear and they go buy from somebody else, which is the last thing that you want. And so you always want to be crystal clear in the promise that you are making. So ask yourself these questions. Is the promise specific? Is it measurable? Is it concrete? Is it timely? Because if you're making vague, ambiguous promises, again, it's going to be hard for your prospect to really visualize what it is that you're promising them. And like I said before, what they're really buying is a transformational result, outcome, or a new future reality. You see, your prospects are in a place right now where they're either trying to solve a problem, or they're trying to alleviate some sort of pain, or they have a desire that needs to be fulfilled. So it could be they have back pain, they have knee pain, or they have money problems. And they want a new future reality where they no longer have that back pain, they no longer have that knee pain, and they no longer have money problems. Or it's an unfulfilled desire, meaning they want to learn how to get better at jiu-jitsu. They're not so good at jiu-jitsu right now. They're not so good at golf right now. They don't know how to play the guitar. What they really want is a new future reality where they can play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix, where their jiu-jitsu game is great, where their golf game is great, right? And so if you don't paint that picture as clear as possible by being specific in what you are promising them, it's very hard for them to imagine that new future reality. And if they can't imagine that new future reality, they have no reason to listen to you. There's no benefit. They're going to move on to the next person. So you need to be specific, concrete, measurable, and if applicable, be timely in what you're promising them. So if you're promising them that you're going to help them lose X amount of weight, if you're going to help them improve their golf swing, if you're going to help them get better at jiu-jitsu, if you're going to help them make X amount of dollars, in what amount of time? 30 days, 2 weeks, 60 days, 90 days? Always try to make your promise have a timely component to it so they know how long it's going to take. The second mistake that marketers and entrepreneurs make that is stopping them from getting consistent, predictable online sales is they are selling a commodity. They are selling a solution that is not proprietary. So if your solution, if the way that you get people your results, so maybe you have a specific system for jiu-jitsu, for passing the guard, or maybe you have a specific system for wrestling, or maybe you have a specific formula or method or sequence of steps for playing the guitar that helps people play the guitar better. Well, if your system or your steps are common and they're the same steps that everyone else is using, then why should people listen to you? So again, if you have the same steps as everyone else, or if your formula is generic, or your method is general, why should people listen to you? Why should they buy from you? There's nothing interesting there. There's nothing proprietary there. And so what happens is, if you start explaining to people what your method is, and it seems familiar and it seems generic to them, number one, they're not going to see any value in it. Or they are going to see value in it, but they're going to go try to find a different way to get that value. So, for example, if I'm selling a supplement, and my supplement has turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, and beetroot powder in it, and all I do is tell people about those 4 ingredients, what's to stop my prospects from saying, I don't need to buy this from this guy for $30 or $40 a bottle. I'll just go buy those ingredients individually on Amazon, because I can probably get a bottle with 180 capsules of every one of those things for like $10 each that will last me for the next 2 years. Because what I presented to them was not positioned as something proprietary. When you do not have something proprietary in your marketing, there's nothing stopping your prospects from getting that method, getting that solution, getting those steps, those sequence of steps that get them the result from somebody else. And the third thing that most marketers and entrepreneurs who struggle to make consistent and predictable online sales is their offer just sucks. So in other words, what they are offering in return for the monetary transaction that they're asking for is just not good enough. Like, the prospect just doesn't see the trade-off in the value proposition. They don't see that what you're asking them to invest is nothing in comparison to the result or the benefits or the outcomes that they're going to get as a result of what you deliver to them. Your deliverables are what you actually deliver to your customers in return for their money. That could be video trainings, it could be audio recordings, it could be books, it could be PDF guides, it could be cheat sheets, it could be checklists, it could be consulting, it could be one-on-one coaching, it could be group coaching, it could be a live event where you help them solve their problem or fulfill their desire using your proprietary solution or formula. But the reality is, if your offer is not insanely good, and more importantly, if it's not superior to what your competitors are offering, what's to stop your prospects from going somewhere else? You see, a lot of people fall in love with the idea that they have the best product, they have the best solution, they have the best way to help prospects get the result that they're promising. But the reality is, they forget that their prospects are inundated with choices and options, and there are millions of other people that are offering your prospects the exact same thing. So maybe they're offering them more in terms of their deliverables. Maybe they're offering them more help. Like, maybe you're offering 2 coaching sessions a week and your competitors are offering 5 coaching sessions a week. Or maybe you offer group coaching, but your competitor offers individual one-on-one coaching. Or maybe their payment terms are more attractive. So maybe the both of you charge $1,000 for your product, but your competitor gives more favorable terms where he'll allow them to do a payment plan for 5 payments of $200, and you want the entire $1,000 up front. Or maybe the risk reversal is better. So the risk reversal is basically how you reverse or minimize the risk that your prospects take when they invest in your product or service. So that could be a money-back guarantee, it could be a conditional guarantee, it could be an unconditional guarantee, it could be a money-back plus guarantee. So maybe you offer a 60-day money-back guarantee, but your competitor offers a 1-year guarantee. Or maybe you offer a 1-year guarantee, but your competitor offers a lifetime guarantee. So the question is, how do you know if you have a superior offer? How do you know if you really have a killer offer? Well, I can tell you that the answer is not going to come from your brain. It's not going to come from you sitting there and analyzing everything that you're delivering to somebody else and going, is this a killer offer? Is this the best offer that they've seen? The only way you're going to come up with that answer is by doing research, by going and figuring out exactly what your competitors are offering. You know, I can't tell you how many marketers or wannabe marketers I see out there teaching other people marketing. And they talk about research in terms of researching their prospects and what their prospects want, what their prospects need, what their prospects' dominant emotions are, what their prospects' beliefs are, what their prospects are already buying, what their interests are, blah, 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 blah. But there's so little focus on competitive research. There's so little focus on researching what are your competitors saying? What kind of claims are they making? Do they have a unique mechanism, or do they have something that they're positioning as a unique mechanism? So, like, do they have a formula that they say is proprietary? What kind of terms do they offer? What kind of promises are they making? What kind of risk reversal are they using? What kind of guarantees are they making? If you don't know this stuff, then you don't know if your offer really is superior to anyone else's. So again, the three big mistakes that most marketers make that's stopping them from getting consistent and predictable online sales is: number one, lack of clarity in who they're talking to and what they're promising, lack of a proprietary solution that can only be that the prospect can only get through them. And then the third one is the lack of a truly killer offer. And so, the three ways to solve this problem are actually very simple. Number one is you need to be crystal clear in who you're talking to. You need to be crystal clear in what you're promising them. You need to be specific, measurable, concrete, and add a timely factor in there in terms of what you're promising them. Whatever you are promising them, your method, your solution, your formula, your algorithm, your system, it has to be proprietary. It has to be unique to you. And it has to be different and superior to what everyone else is offering them. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to continue to pay attention to you. They're going to go somewhere else. And then the third thing is that your offer needs to be superior and better to your competitors. And the only way you're going to know that is by knowing what your competitors are offering. Now, the good news is I show you how to do all this and more in my brand new book, The Rapid Acquisition Method. I'll put a link down below. You can grab it if you want. It'll teach you my exact 5-phase process for engineering online marketing campaigns that get new clients and customers consistently and predictably. I'll see you in the next video.